this year. So you guys can look through those, or pictures of the different patients that we have. There's a story on the opossum that I just talked about that's in there. And people, it's any harm that people inflict on animals, regardless of whether they're pets or wild animals.
What do you know about animal abuse?
And I should say it's intentional harm, too, animal abuse, mostly, but not all of it is intentional. What do I know about it? Well, the Wildlife Center, since we take in, our patients are wild, we take in any number of birds, mammals, any local species, even reptiles and amphibians. So of the over 4,000 animals we get every year, some of those, a small percentage of those are animals that have... Most of those we have so the birds that have been shot with pellets, and we got in an opossum that someone shot with darts and then threw into the garbage. They shot with blow darts. And then one was a raccoon that someone used a really harmful and illegal trap on.
Why does animal abuse happen?
One reason why we think that animal abuse happens is because of lack of awareness. So one thing that we try to do to avoid abuse is we feel like education is the key. So the more people understand and respect the animals that are around in their communities, even if they're domestic animals or wild animals, the better chance they'll have at treating them well, and the less chance they will abuse them. Sometimes it is because of some illness that the people themselves have, some psychological problems or something like that.
Have you ever experienced animal abuse? Can you share your personal story?
I have just been working at the Wildlife Center, yes. Even just this year, I've been at the center when we've taken in a few of the animals that have been abused. And the two most moving cases actually, I was there and I actually helped the people who brought in the opossum who was shot with blow darts and thrown into the garbage. So it's really sad. It just makes you very sad for the animal, and you want to do everything you can to get that animal out.
Stop animal abuse!
So luckily we actually did get to do that with the opossum. And one other case that came in this year that was actually in the newspaper, the raccoon that came in that was in an illegal trap. That animal is he's still struggling a little bit, and we're working to get him ready to be released. So hopefully we'll be able to set him free too. But it's really sad, and it just makes you want to do everything you can to help get them better.
But what do you think the solution is?
I think the solution is a couple of things. I think it is education, so going out into the community and helping people understand the animals that are there, and helping them to have a respect for them, but know there are solutions other than harming those animals. So we talk to people about ways to not attract the wild animals that they don't want around, and other things that they can do other than hurting them to encourage them to go someplace else and live someplace else. And another thing is to also educate people who have no intention of harming animals, but let them know about or things like this brochure talks about. People that do harm animals, there are consequences for it. It's actually illegal. Animal abuse is illegal, it's a crime. And there are supporting organizations within the community that if people witness animal abuse, they can go to places like the Wildlife Center. They can report this. They can also report it to the city of San Jose and their surrounding cities. And we work together to make sure that there are consequences to those actions. So the more that people know that, hopefully the less all of those things. So helping people to know about the animals that are around them, just natural history information. So all of the different wild animals, to know what behavior is normal and what's not. So that can help people to be less afraid. So when people are less afraid and they care more, then they'll want to reach out and not help, right? Or not hurt, and they want to help. And one other thing that you can do too is if you see something that happens, if you witness something illegal going on, then you know where to report it. And if you can help report those things, then that can help solve these problems and prevent future abuse.
Do you think anybody disagrees with your solution?
That's a really good question. I don't think that anyone disagrees. Not that I know of. So this is that brochure. The Wildlife Center of Silicon Valley is on here. And so there are other wildlife organizations that people can contact if they see people abusing wild animals. And this talks about especially pets that have been abused. But of course, since we don't work with pets at the Wildlife Center, we're on the wildlife portion of it. But either one, abuse of pets or abuse of wildlife, they're both illegal. And this I brought for you too. This talks about what we do with our wild patients, the whole rehabilitation process, what happens right after an animal comes through our doors, and all the way through to release of the animals that come into the Wildlife Center. Do you have any other questions about the Wildlife Center? Or anything else? Okay. Okay. I think that's it? Yeah. Okay. Well, I also brought, that your teacher has, I brought a couple of different magazines or newsletters, the two that we published this year. So you guys can look through those, or pictures of the different patients that we have. There's a story on the opossum that I just talked about that's in there. And yeah, if you have any other questions, you can always reach me at the Wildlife Center too.
Where is the Wildlife Center?
Oh, that's a good question. In San Jose, we are actually pretty close by here. Do you know where Allen Rock Park is? Yeah, we're pretty close to Allen Rock Park. Yeah. Do you want to ask a question after? Okay. Okay. No? Okay. That's it? Okay. Oh, I have a question for you guys, actually. What made you choose this topic?
Because
I felt really bad for all the animals that abuse, and I wanted to be able to hit a cat with a brick to kill it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's not a fun thing to see.
So we took it in.
You did? That's great. Is the cat okay? Do you know?
It's at my brother's friend's house because it didn't have any milk, so they took it to another cat that had milk and they let it stay right there with the other cats.
Yeah, that's great. So you did a huge thing right there. You actually stepped in and saved the kitten. That's awesome. Anybody else witness anything, or no? You just like animals? Want to help? That's great. Well, thank you for inviting me here.
You're welcome.
Most of the time with the animals that that come through that are patients, so most of the animals, of course, we're working on getting them better and releasing them when they're ready. So those guys, they're not at the center long enough that we have to trim their nails. But just today, actually, where's this? One of the great horned owls, actually this bird right here. This is, it says it's a non-releasable great horned owl. We had to trim his talons today, and his talons, those nails, are about this long off the ends of his toes. So, you know, at this point, and during the day he's sleepier, so he was on a perch, so he's just standing there like this hawk in this picture, and his talons or nails just go off the edge. We were able to just put clippers up when he wasn't really paying attention and just slowly clip each one. But that's because he has spent a lot of time around people now, because we know we can't release him. Yeah.
Wait, so you know how, do you get to keep its nail, I'm just saying, or something that, you know, not like cutting or anything, that they're fed or something that falls out from them, like their teeth?
Oh.
Can you keep it, or, because you know how some people sell like some teeth, like shark teeth? What they, like, do they get the animal to kill it, or do they get it from a zoo that the animal loses?
That's a really good question. Yeah, and we have, we do, if, you know, whenever the birds lose feathers or different things like that, we do get to keep them, but we have special permits because we do what we do with wildlife, and we work with the state and the federal government, so we have permits to keep those things, whereas other people aren't supposed to keep like bird feathers or that protection law that's in place. So sometimes animals will lose those things naturally, like they'll molt their feathers, they'll drop them and grow in new feathers, and you don't have to harm the bird for that to happen. And I think when people find teeth, sometimes that's just because it's something that they found outdoors and then they've collected it. But that's not always the case, but yeah.
So you know how to say, well, what if you end up finding a rare bird's feather? Is that illegal, or is it fine? If you just found it before and you're like, you don't know what bird, and you're like, oh, what's this feather?
Technically, you're not supposed to keep it. Technically, you're either just supposed to leave it there or give it to a place like the Wildlife Center so they could use it for education, technically. Even though there probably won't be someone that's going to go to look for those things in your house, but technically you're supposed to either leave it or, yeah, have it used for education. It's a good question. Any other questions? Yeah.
You know, in Happy Hollow Zoo, there's a raccoon, a baby raccoon there.
Oh, they do. Oh, actually, wait. No, I didn't know. Do they have? Is it on display?
It's free there. It's in the bushes hiding there.
Oh, it's just roaming around there.
Yeah, I think they don't know they have it. Because there's baby ducks, obviously, well, and then the mom decides to have a nest. So they left them there because they won't harm. But the fawn, well, it doesn't harm me, but it's stinky.